Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out.
Nike just made one of the most embarrassing corporate missteps in recent memory, and Aya Wilson isn't hiding her frustration. Despite pouring huge amounts of money into building Wilson's brand, all while Caitlin Clark was dominating headlines and lighting up social media with even the smallest moves, Nike has finally realized where the real buzz is, and it might be too late to fix the damage.
Finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE. Is this the first Caitlin Clark exclusive Nike commercial since she's entered the WNBA? I know she's made a cameo here, she's made a cameo there, she was featured as part of this rollout here, featured as part of this rollout there, but is this our first official Caitlin Clark solo?
Nike spent years going all in on the wrong superstar, and now reality just hit them like a brick. As they scramble to shift gears toward the woman who's actually driving sales, Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson is having a full-blown meltdown, and it's nothing short of dramatic. But this goes way beyond sneakers. It's Nike practically confessing they backed the wrong face of the brand, while Clark's mere presence causes more online traffic than your grandma trying to upload selfies on Facebook. If you're riding with Caitlin, drop a "baby goat" in the comments. Let's go.
And was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to.
Alright, let's talk facts, because the numbers don't lie and they don't care about feelings. Aya Wilson sneakers may have debuted with plenty of noise, but word is they're still sitting on shelves, inching closer to the dreaded clearance bin. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark shows up, drops a Kobe collab before even landing her own signature line, and boom, 13,000 pairs gone in under 60 seconds. Not 5 minutes, not 10, just one. That wasn't a product launch, it was a full-blown frenzy.
Well, I don't think I'd be in the wrong to say Caitlin Clark's Kobe is the sneaker of the week, and everyone's focus is mostly on this one. If you really wanted that shoe, I hope you put your footwork in, because there's supposedly only 13,000 pairs of sneakers out tomorrow. Combine that with a really high resale value, I expect this shoe to be a relatively difficult comp. But my hope seriously is that with Caitlin Clark's sneaker coming out, that this sets a precedent and we might see other exclusive player edition Kobe's drop.
The Nike site didn't just slow down, it completely waved the white flag, crashing under the pressure as Caitlin Clark's gear flew off the shelves. Within minutes, resale sites were flooded, with prices skyrocketing from $350 to $600. Every Clark drop hits like Black Friday on steroids, while Aya Wilson's line sits untouched, quietly collecting dust as it's shuffled toward the dreaded clearance section.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here, and no, I don't want to pay $600 on.
Here's where it really gets wild. Nike dedicated 2 full years to pampering Aya Wilson's sneaker line, treating her like royalty with custom logos, hand-picked designs, and personal tributes baked into every inch. From Celtic symbols honoring her parents to her grandmother's favorite sayings etched into the sole, the shoe wasn't just made for basketball, it was basically a family scrapbook you could wear.
I lost all respect for Agent Wilson. I don't want to hear her opinions. I don't care what she has to say from this point on. When you keep a Nike deal 2 years in secret while you're spewing all that crazy stuff about Caitlin Clark in the Time magazine, read it. Read what she said in the Time magazine, yet you had a Nike deal the whole entire time?
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's still out here rocking repurposed Cobes, no personal logo, no signature line, nothing custom, and yet she's outselling Aya Wilson's meticulously crafted sneakers by margins that are almost comical. Nike handed Wilson every tool in the box, from design freedom to sentimental details, but it's Clark's hand-me-downs that break the internet without even trying. It's almost tragic, almost.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design.
And then there's the giant pink elephant we can't ignore, Aya Wilson's All About Me energy. She's been chasing personal accolades like a politician hunting votes, finally landing her signature kicks, a mysterious logo no one can decipher, and even high-budget Nike ads directed by Malia Obama. Yet somehow, it's still not enough. She acts like the world still owes her more. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark simply walks onto the court, casually sinks a 30-footer, and without saying a word becomes Nike's biggest female cash cow since Michael Jordan. Wilson demands her flowers out loud. Clark grows an empire just by showing up and being great.
All this was done while the shoe's being developed, while the collection's being done. To demonize Caitlin Clark and try to label her as a privileged white girl that's getting all the privileges, even though she earned everything she got. This ain't about color. This is about good and bad. And I find this a little evil. I find this evil. This is beyond bad, because you had the ability to speak up and say, hey, everybody, relax. Don't get on Caitlin Clark. She got a shoe deal. That's cool. I got one too. Mine's taking a little bit, but it's going to come out. Just be patient. She could have came out and said that, but she didn't.
Here's the kicker. Nike bent over backwards trying to make Aya Wilson the face of the brand, handing her a $20+ million extension, crafting entire ad campaigns around her underdog narrative, and selling her story like a caffeinated telemarketer. But no amount of effort can manufacture what Caitlin Clark has naturally. Clark signed her own 8-year, $28 million deal and instantly became Nike's most valuable female asset, without needing a single extra marketing push. Every time she steps on the court in swoosh gear, it's a walking $1 million ad. No stylists, no scripts, no choreography, just Clark, a ball, and a hoop, turning sweat into sales.
Just released a brand new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and her new Kobe shoe that she released today. And I saw this commercial yesterday on social media. I thought it was so cool. There's a shot when she's in the locker room and she opens her eye and it like turns into what looks like a snake eye, but when you zoom in, it's actually the Kobe.
Now here's where the fantasy fully shatters. Caitlin Clark generated a jaw-dropping $82 million in economic impact for the state of Iowa alone. That's one 23-year-old from West Des Moines rewriting history and torching NCAA records while reshaping an entire market. Her presence is less of a sports story and more of a cultural meteor strike. And as the numbers pile up, Nike execs are probably facepalming in boardrooms, realizing they overlooked the female Michael Jordan to push a narrative around Aya Wilson that just never resonated. The signs were glowing in neon from day one, but Nike was too distracted ticking boxes on their social justice agenda to see the generational star right in front of them.
All eyes will be on tonight's match. We are in for a show.
Bouncing connect, Sonic. Plays it in on a delectable dime from Caitlin Clark.
Even former Nike basketball marketing chief Jordan Rodgers couldn't stay quiet. He publicly slammed his old company, basically saying, "Congrats, you clowns. You nearly let your golden goose slip away." As Nike's stock plummeted to a 5-year low, they were busy force-feeding fans a brand story nobody believed in. While Caitlin Clark was generating a real, unstoppable tidal wave of attention, Nike kept fumbling around trying to create hype around Aya Wilson like she was Gretchen Wieners trying to make fetch happen. Spoiler alert, it never did.
Stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions Their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve it.
Now suddenly, Nike's wide awake. Caitlin Clark's Kobe drop lands and the internet doesn't just lag, it goes into full-blown meltdown. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson's carefully crafted, months-long rollout gets effortlessly overshadowed by Clark's low-key Tuesday release that she barely even mentioned. The contrast is almost laughable. Wilson needs teaser trailers, glam shoots, influencer packages, media tours, and still can't spark serious sales. Clark just uploads a single photo and boom, lines are wrapped around the block like it's Black Friday for PS5s. And what's really burning Aya up is the fact that Nike's finally admitting what the rest of us already knew. Clark doesn't just sell sneakers, she sells hype, hope, and the belief that maybe, just maybe, you can pull up from the logo too. The people voted with their wallets. Caitlin is the future, while Wilson stuck clutching yesterday's headlines, doing everything she can just to stay in the picture.
Finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around. Gatorade, State Farm, Gainbridge, Wilson Basketball have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of...
No matter how many Twitter threads Aya Wilson and her supporters fire off, the truth is Nike gave her everything: MVP nods, Olympic medals, non-stop promo, and still couldn't replicate the raw, magnetic frenzy that Caitlin Clark generates without even trying. Wilson's resume might shine on paper, but Clark's pull goes way deeper than stats. She's not just an athlete, she's a cultural phenomenon who casually drops dimes and sets the internet on fire. Nike, after dragging their feet far too long, finally got the message: you can't fabricate what Clark exudes naturally. She didn't chase the crown, she earned it with performance, presence, and a fanbase that grew without a single scripted campaign. While Wilson plays the role of a candidate on the campaign trail, slogans, sympathy cards, and pleas for respect, Clark just hoops, and the world can't stop watching.
I find it's very deplorable to me. I find it's very deplorable that you allow Caitlin Clark to get crapped on that whole entire time and even speak up. And on top of that, Nike's a bunch of a-holes too, because they didn't speak up and defend Caitlin Clark or speak up and say, hey, we got Aja's shoe coming. We got Aja's shoe coming. Just gotta be patient. Caitlin Clark's gonna get hers too. I don't understand the tactics here. All you're causing controversy that it didn't have to be there. You're calling division where it didn't have to be there. You're calling racial, issues where it didn't have to be there.
Nike's pivot to Caitlin Clark isn't just smart, it's survival. While they were busy manufacturing Aya Wilson's image from the ground up, Clark was out here organically dragging the entire WNBA into mainstream relevance. Her games routinely pull over 1 million viewers while others barely graze 300,000. When Clark shows up, arenas sell out, ticket prices skyrocket, and little kids rock her jersey like she's their personal superhero. That's not marketing fluff, it's the kind of authentic, culture-shifting star power brands spend decades chasing. So when her Cobes hit Nike's site, fans were hammering the refresh button like they were hunting reunion tickets for a band that broke up before they were born. Meanwhile, Wilson's shoe drops land with the energy of a group project, forced, awkward, and barely anyone wants to participate. Clark's releases. pure Christmas morning for basketball junkies.
Across the board, this commercial was a 10 for 10, and a lot of people have been getting on Nike because they don't feel like they have been promoting Caitlyn as much as they should. But I will say we have to give credit where credit is due. I feel like in the past month or so, they have been tweeting about Caitlyn more, and then obviously with this shoe release, they made this super sick commercial to promote it. And of course, just today, Caitlyn Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get.
And the irony? It's absolutely priceless. Aya Wilson spent years complaining she wasn't getting enough attention, venting about how long it took Nike to hand her a signature line. Frustrated, the media never crowned her the undisputed face of the game. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark just kept her head down, stacking highlights, selling out arenas, and quietly becoming the global icon Wilson always wanted to be. Clark didn't beg for the crown, she earned it so undeniably that even Nike had to admit, yeah, we majorly fumbled this. And let's not gloss over the numbers, Nike's billion-dollar infrastructure literally couldn't keep up with the demand for Clark's shoes. The servers crashed under the stampede of fans, turning a sneaker drop into a historic moment. Wilson's launches cause a mild ripple, maybe a flicker on the radar. Clark's drops. They're digital earthquakes, probably plastered all over Nike's investor slides with red warning arrows and nervous executive notes.
Digital tsunamis that probably show up on Nike's investor call PowerPoints with terrified little graphs.
I heard that Nike stocked about 14,000 of these, and that is an unconfirmed report, but they sold out in less than a minute. If that's any indication of what a Caitlyn Clark signature shoe will do, I think Nike better continue to get on it and get ready to launch this.
And once again, the cold truth remains, money doesn't care about feelings. Aya Wilson can shine her trophies all day long, but Caitlyn Clark brings something no marketing team can fabricate, raw, magnetic energy that makes millions reach for their wallets just to feel a piece of her magic. Nike finally realized they were pouring millions into a MySpace bet in a Netflix era, trying to force Wilson into superstardom while the real generational talent was already lighting it up in Adidas during college, ready to transform their entire women's brand. Now they're scrambling to course correct, while Wilson watches the dream she chased for years casually fall into Clark's lap. Sure, Wilson's sneakers will sell in small batches to die-hard WNBA fans treating it like a badge of loyalty, but Clark's kicks. They'll keep vanishing in minutes across every demo, kids, parents, casuals, people who couldn't name another WNBA player but recognize Clark's logo like the Nike swoosh or Batman signal. That's the undeniable gap between niche symbolic merch and true global cultural power.
Nike released the shoe this morning for $190. That was the going rate for the signature sneaker. Now, I'm here to tell you, as you guys can see right here on Google, just type in Caitlyn Clark Kobe 5. StockX, currently right now, they're going for $345. On GOAT, they're going for $386. In Flight Club, you're looking at $375. Must mind you, these sneakers was just released a few hours ago. These sneakers were retail for $190. This is the Caitlyn Clark.
Nike blew a ridiculous amount of money trying to force Aya Wilson into superstardom, while the real star, Caitlyn Clark, was out here shattering attendance records and turning every game into a sold-out spectacle. Now, Nike's finally throwing its full weight behind Clark because they've realized this is way bigger than basketball. She's a cultural phenomenon who connects across generations, regions, and casual fans alike. Wilson's ceiling was clear from the start, Clark's. We haven't even seen it yet. Her momentum is explosive, her impact undeniable, and Nike finally jumped on the right train before it left the station for good. Meanwhile, Wilson can keep tweeting for respect, but the scoreboard is obvious, Clark's breaking servers and selling out every sneaker size while driving the future of the sport. This isn't hype. It's already happening. The market has spoken, and its voice is wearing a Clark jersey. If you ride with Caitlyn, drop a "baby goat" in the comments, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of the takeover.